This
ATP,
conference
but
will
in a
now be
different
recorded.
module called as APO, Advanced Planner Optimization. And this concept ATP in APO is called as GATP, Global Available to Promise. So same GATP today, SAP is offering it as AATP through Fiori. So you could see here in the ERP, we have the ATP, Advanced as Available to Promise. But what's the issue with this Available to Promise? It is simple to use, but very limited functionality. Simple to use with limited functionality. On the other hand, we also have GATP, that is Global Available to Promise in APO module. And this GATP is one of the functionality in APO. In APO, we have multiple functionalities. Out of the GATP is one functionality. And this GATP is complex to use and implement, but it gives us a very advanced functionality, offers a very advanced functionality. So they are connected through CAFs. But today, everything is coming onto a single platform. The ERP is on S4HANA. And as you know, there is no APO or there is no TM. That means SAP want to bring everything into the same system, right? That is the S4HANA system. So ERP and the GATP has now become as AATP, Advanced Available to Promise. So this combination is now offered on Fiori with very simple functionality. So that you could see here, it is simple to use and gives us advanced functionality. So that's what the new change in AATP. This AATP is not a standard functionality on the S4HANA Enterprise Management license. This is a separate license. AATP is a separate license. It's not standard on S4HANA system. So you may or may not see these concepts in your project because only the business which has this requirement will go for this particular AATP additional license, right? But what about ATP then? So if we have AATP and that's a licensed, then what about this ATP? So whatever the ATP functionality we have in the ECC, the same functionality is still available in the S4HANA and it is called as classic ATP. Okay, so the ATP functionality, whatever we have now in the ECC, it's called as classic ATP in S4HANA and it works pretty well. Okay, it works perfect with one or two small changes. That is one. There is one table which is absolute, and there is one configuration which is absolute. I'll tell you. I'll show you the system. Except that, rest everything is a pretty standard. And as mentioned, this is called as classic ATP. So if any business needs this advanced functionality, then they go for this GATP. Then only they go for GATP, right? So let's see how this ATP works in the system, the configuration and everything. So the ATP, whatever we have the configuration in the ECC, like we have availability check, we have TOR, we have backorder processing. So these all configurations are at the different nodes. Okay, they are at the different nodes. But to bring everything at one place, this particular AATP has everything at one place. In one node, we could see everything. So ATP, if you go for SPRO, we see the ATP configuration under sales and distribution, basic functions, and availability check and TOR. Under that, we have availability check, and we have ATP logic, and we could see ATP has couple of configuration steps, right? So what is the change here? As I told you, if I go for, let me also open ECC so that you could see the change, what happened here. If I go for SPRO, this is ECC system, SPRO, and the sales and distribution, basic functions, availability check, ATP logic. So here we have these defined checking groups, right? So if you go to the defined checking group, this is what we have here. It says 0102, and here this is the last field you could see, right? There is nothing like ATP or something, right? This is the last field. But if you go for S/4HANA and you go for this ATP logic, define checking groups, you see here 01 A. You see total sales is only A. There is no B option here. In the ECC, you will see B as one option. In the ECC, you see this is ECC. You see B as option because that is daily requirement. But in S/4HANA, daily requirement is absolute. Why is daily requirement is absolute in S/4HANA? Why in S/4HANA? Why this particular daily requirement is absolute? That is because what are the values this daily requirement is saving? The table VBBS. Daily requirement, the B option, the table is VBBS. This is its system. This is ECC. Excuse me, just a moment. This is no. This is S/4HANA. EC16. VBBS. Just a moment. Actually, this table VBBS is absolute in S/4HANA. So that is one reason why this particular B, the option B has been gone away. So okay, let me first go with this. I hope I'm running this on the EHP server. So that's the reason it's still showing the table. Let us finish this and go back to the S/4HANA server. So what is the major difference happened in ECC and S/4HANA when it comes to this? First thing is you don't have option B. Second thing, you don't have that option here that is called as ATP, advanced ATP. So let me close this. This is ECC system. Let me get into this is S/4HANA system. So You see 60 and VBBS. You see this? The VBBS table. This is S4HANA system. In S4HANA system, when I run this transaction and VBBS table, it says no values found, right? So why there is no values found in this particular? Because as I mentioned, there is no aggregates in S4HANA. HANA database is against aggregates, right? So this daily option is a aggregate, but the daily requirement is a aggregate. So that is the reason the table VBBS is absolute. So the option B is also absolute. It is only A, right? So that is for normal standard ATP. Okay, that is for standard ATP. But if you want to go for AATP, you have the license for AATP. Then what you do? The checking group for AATP is Y1. Y1 is the standard checking group. We also have Y1 in ECC as well, but we don't use it. We use this Y1 only at the time of GATP. So now the GATP itself is AATP. So Y1 is a checking group, and you have to activate this advanced ATP here. If you activate advanced ATP here, then it will override the existing ATP, and your functionality will be completely on AATP. So once you activate this AATP here, advanced ATP, then where is the complete configuration dashboard for this? That is under cross application components. Cross application components. You see this AATP? This is the license version dashboard. Once you activate AATP, so here where you see the advanced available to promise. So standard configuration, availability check, TOR, backorder processing, everything is available here. There is no change in it. But what is something new here? That is what is something new? That is product allocation and backorder processing. The way we perform ATP and this all other stuff is same, but these two are something new, totally new configurations. Maybe this particular configurations earlier we used to do some configurations in availability check, some configurations in TOR, some configurations in STO, but now everything has been put down under one node. Okay, we are familiar with these configuration steps, but this particular product allocation and backorder processing is completely new. It was introduced only in S4HANA, and we never seen this earlier in the ECC. So what is this product allocation? As we know, availability check can be performed in three ways. You could ignore the third one, but you could take it as two ways. Availability check can be performed in, let's say, put it in two ways. One is ATP logic. The other one is product allocation. ATP logic means available to promise, first come first serve kind of thing. That is, whoever the customer plays first in the first come first serve system will just keep confirming it, right? So that is ATP logic. But what is this product allocation? Product allocation is reserving the material to specific characteristics. The characteristics can be a customer group, distribution channel, a city, anything it could be, anything it could be. Okay. So we want to reserve the materials against some parameters, right? Why we want to reserve? Because maybe that material is a production critical material. We are not able to manufacture more than 100 pieces per day, or it is newly launched material. That means We don't have enough potential to manufacture beyond the requirement. So in these cases, if you want to make sure every customer get a fair share, it's not like one customer buy every material. So you want to reserve, let's say your production capacity is, let's say, 100 quantity per day. So 30 quantity, you want to sell it for a distribution channel like dealers. Another 30 quantity, you want to sell it for institutional customers. Another 30 quantity maybe for government customers, and 10 quantity you want to leave it as a safety stock. So if any customer from dealer distribution channel place an order, system will check only in that 30 quantity which is reserved against that particular dealers. For institutional, again only on that particular 30. So that's how we could reserve materials against various parameters using product allocation. But what is so special now in S/4HANA? That is, in ECC, this product allocation used to be a very tedious concept. Many steps, maybe total 11 steps are something we need to do. So initially customers are excited to use this and they go with this, but later they drop the idea, or even though after configuring, after using a couple of days, they don't use this concept, they just leave it because of its complexity. But today, this particular concept is available on Fiori, and it's pretty simple actually. Even users also can manage this. That simple. Now this particular AATP has been available. So let's see how this works. Product allocation. Only configuration here in the SPRO is to activate product allocation. That means you want to go with yes or no. So whatever we have in the ECC is everything available. Nothing is absolute. Okay. Whatever we have in the ECC, it is still available. It's there. Whether it could be product allocation, ATP, bracket, everything is there. But this is something different. Here, what we do, only if you want to go for product allocation, yes or no. But you see, yes or no. You see two options, right? One is saying that by requested delivery date. The second option is by material available date. This option was only in 2021. In the previous versions, we only have yes, no. That's it. Only two options. But now, that means if yes, you're going with Fiori-based product allocation. If you say no, you're going SPRO-based old product allocation. But now, SAP has given two more options here. Apart from yes and no, like we have more options. So if you say yes here, then rest of the all configuration maintenance of this this product allocation is in Fiori. So everything is done through Fiori apps. So there is a set of apps for AATP. So we go here and you just keep scrolling down. You should see somewhere product allocation. Earlier it used to be under the sales. That set of all the sales apps used to be at one place, but in 21, I don't know, they have rearranged or something. But here we see this product allocation separately from sales, apart from sales. If you see somewhere, just stop me. Product, it just says as product allocation. Yeah, it says as ATP or ATP product. Yeah, this one. You see, product allocation. So there are a couple of set of apps in this product allocation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 apps. So in the older version, we have only 3 apps. Now it is 6 apps. So 6 apps doesn't mean there is been more functionality provided. And see, this concept is one of the concept in sales which is still evolving. Okay, so every version there is some change, maybe a text change or some other feature change kind of thing in ATP. Rest all other concepts in the SD core module has been addressed, but this concept is still evolving. You may see some change version to version. The documents, whatever is available for us on this concept is the 1610 version. Concept is same, there is no change, but only the configuration, how do we do in the system is little change. So use the document only to refer the concept, but don't follow the configuration. Configuration only follow whatever we are discussing now in the session. Okay. So as I told you, 6 apps doesn't mean additional functionality. So what they have done is they have more simplified it. So these two, the first 2 apps used to be only one app. Even today, this characteristic, you can do it here. You don't need to go to this, right? So they have more just simplified it. If not, it's not like they have added more functionality or feature kind of thing. More simplified, right? So these two is to be one app actually. Manage product allocation sequence and assign product to product allocation. These two used to be one app. Like that, there is only 3 apps actually. Now they have made it as 6 apps, but nothing is additional functionality. Very, very small changes. Okay, manage characteristic catalogs. The first one. What is that? Here, what we do, we will select the characteristic against what you have to. Let's say I'll just take some standard and show you. Against what characteristic you want to block this particular materials or reserve the materials. So there will be various characteristics available actually. So if I click on this, so various characteristics will be available. So you could click on edit. It could be customer, customer group, distribution channel, sold to party, bill to party, like this various characteristics, city, state. So in this screen, what we do is we only select which characteristics, which characteristic you want to reserve against. Okay. So as I mentioned, this characteristic, we could also do it in the next app. You don't need to specifically mention here. So only thing we maintain here is characteristic. Against what we have to reserve the material. So product allocation, sales document. Yeah, you see these all are characteristics. You can reserve against a company code or a country, customer group, distribution channel, material group, sales group. You see lots of, or you could also add more parameters here. Right? So you could select any characteristic. Let's say I select distribution channel and save. We can add more or remove existing as well in this screen. Right, the catalog has been set. Let me come back now. Configure product allocation. So here we create our product allocation object. So if you want to see already existing product allocation objects, you can just click on Go. The system will show you what is available in the system. Or else you can click on Create. Just click on Create. We could create our own. So I'll just say product allocation object to ultimate, right? So what is more important in this screen? Already system is highlighting in red color. You see quantity unit. So what is this quantity unit? This quantity unit is nothing but your unit of measures for material. Let's say in material master, the material is maintained in pieces, then this unit should be the same. If not, system will stop you. Maybe system allows you in this screen, but later when you are assigning your product to product allocation, system will stop you. You are not able to proceed any further if the units are conflicting. So whatever the units in the material master for the material, the same should be available here. You have to maintain the same. And the period type, how you want to reserve the material. You want to reserve the material monthly, weekly, daily, quarter. So I'll take monthly. Let us leave it as monthly. And on check date and time on against what we need to, whether goods issue or material availability or requested delivery date. So when you want to check this material availability, right? The next sales document and stock transport. Where you want to do this? Whether you want to do this at the sales document availability check, or you also want to use this particular STO stock transport option. This STO option was added only in 1809. Before to 1809, we don't have this option. So once we maintain all the data here, just click on create. So the product allocation object would be created, right? So come back. Then manage product allocation planning data. That means we have mentioned that we want to reserve materials monthly. So per month, how much stock you want to reserve? So just click on go. So we should see our product allocation object. So 12th May, this is what we created today. Select this and click on edit. Click on add. So the status of product allocation is active in constraint in sequence per month 100 quantity. Okay. So this is monthly consumption for this particular customer or customer group or whatever the characteristic you select. You could tell system how much quantity you want to reserve per month. So per month 100 quantity, that's what we want to reserve. Click on save. So now this object has been saved, and if you want to change the status, the active, it is still active, But later, anytime if you want to deactivate this product allocation for this characteristic, you could deactivate it. Okay, you can click on quick edit or click on the edit, and you could change the statuses. Right. This is product allocation sequence data, planning data. Right. We're done with the next one. The next is manage product allocation sequences. Product allocation sequences. Click on go. Okay, we need to create it actually. No, we need to create it. Okay, let me click on create. So here, just click on create and allocation sequence. I'll just give the same name. Description also, I'll do the same name. I told you, right? Consumption unit. System keep asking us and will stop us if it doesn't match with the materials consumption unit. Backward consumption and forward consumption. That means every month we are assigning 100 quantity. So now we are in June, and today is June 12th, right? That is first 10 days, let's assume. Let's say for the first 10 days itself, all the 100 quantity has been consumed by the customer. Maybe on 15th of June, customer has placed an order for another 20 quantity. Do we have stock? No, because customer has already consumed their quota of 100 quantity. So in that case, we want system to check backwards and forward. Okay. Backward, forward. That means if I put 1 month backward, that means we are telling system, go and check in a month of May if any material is available. Sometimes all the 100 may not be consumed, right? So it's available or not. Forward consumption. Forward consumption. That means go 1 month forward. Go and check in July whether the material is available or not. That means in the current month, if the materials are not available, that means if it's completed and customer is requesting for more materials, then we can tell system where to check whether go and check in the backward consumption and forward consumption. That means in the previous month, if you have any material, just confirm it from the previous month. From the reserved quota, even from the previous and next month, that is only from for this character, whatever is like assigned, okay, only from the reserved quota. Right. So 1 month forward, 1 month backward, you could just put it here. Then past period allowed. Whenever we create a sales order, from where system considers the stock? Anyone? From MMBE, from which area system takes the stock? Unrestricted stock, right? Usually system checks from unrestricted stock. But here we are going with product allocation. That means this material is already reserved against the customer. So as we know, every month the stock has to be accounted, right? It has to be closed. Every month the stock has to be closed and the new stock has to be opened for a new month. So if the past period is not at closed, then you're telling system go and check in the past period also. Right? And which consumption you want to go, only backwards, only forward, or both backward and forward. So you could select here. Right? So if the current month the material is not available, then how system should check to confirm the quantities, right? And what is this? One moment. Yep, let's. If you face an error, this is only the step where you would be facing a error. If not, pretty smooth, you will not face any error in this particular screen. Okay, So this is what it's stopping us. For this, we need to assign the product allocation object, the first step what we created, right? So we need to assign that. And restricted availability or unrestricted availability. If you say restricted availability, system will consider the stock only from that 100 quantity which is allowed. If you put unrestricted availability, that means you are telling system, if materials are not available here, you could go and check in the unrestricted stock as well. It's not an error. It's a known, like this because of the configuration is missing. That's the reason system is going like popping up this like constant is missing. This is not an error, but this is only the where we will be getting stock. So once we assign the constant sequence, that is done. So we're done with the product allocation sequence as well. So coming back, product allocation sequence. The next step is assign product to product allocation. So in the ECC, we create a product allocation and we assign product allocation to material. In the material master, basic data one, there is a field called as product allocation. So we assign product allocation object to material master. But now in the ATP, it's completely reverse. What we do, that is, we assign material to product allocation, nothing to do in the material master. We assign product to product allocation. So just click on go and find our product allocation object. Then click on edit, add, and tell system what material. Let's say TG11 from which plant, 1710. So this material might be already taken. The TG11 is not available in this plant. Maybe some other material. Let's check. TG13. Yeah, TG13 is available. It's available in 1710. So we have a fallback option as well here. That means, let's say, if this material TG11 is not available for the moment in this plant, then so we can maintain a fallback option telling that same TG11 check in other plant as well. Right. So save it. We cannot leave this field blank. Yeah, so this is only one option, right? But if this material is not available in this particular plant, so we can add one more option here, right? So that's a fallback option. So if this doesn't, like there's no material in this, so system will immediately check in the next line. So now the product allocation sequence also has been created. This is the complete configuration for product allocation. Everything is only on the query. So now if you create an order for this material and for this particular parameter or characteristic, so system knows that it should take material from whatever we configured, that is product allocation. And in the sales order, in the availability check overview, system will show us from which product allocation object the system has considered the stock, what is the remaining stock, what is the status, everything it will store, right? And we have a maintenance app for the user, the product allocation overview. And when you go here, it will show the load and everything. You see, so what is the load for every order and what are the confirmation sequences, everything shows up here. This is the maintenance app for users, right? So this is all about the product allocation. So any questions on this product allocation? So anyone from the SD batch, you don't need to worry. You'll understand this when it comes to availability check concept. Pretty easily you'll understand this, the terminologies, whatever we discussed, the screens, what we have seen, everything.
This for this based on the forecast, we need to allocate the stocks.
Yeah, the forecasting, everything will be done by your GATP masters and it would be allocated. Basing on the material, as I told you, it could be a production critical material or it's a new material which is launched, or for time being, for the next 6 months, there is a shortage in the raw material. So you'll have a limited stock available. So in that cases, they go with this product allocation. But this product allocation, whatever we discuss now, it is not that simple in the ECC, pretty complicated. But now we could just configure this and hand over to the users itself. User can also maintain it. Yeah. Any questions, anyone? So this is about product allocation. Now let us see what is backorder processing. Because see, backorder processing we also have in the ECC, right? But what is special about the backorder processing which SAP is now providing? So as we know, in the ECC we have backorder processing, which is based on one soft sequence, that is customer. In the customer master, in the shipping tab, we have a field called as delivery priority. Okay, so basing on the delivery priority option, system provides like the reservation, backorder processing and everything. So the canceling and confirming it to other customers basing on the soft sequence of delivery priority in the customer master. So on what basis we are canceling the quantities of low priority customer and giving it to high priority customer? Only basing on the field delivery priority, what is maintained in customer master. If he is a low priority, we cancel the quantities and give it to high priority customers. So that doesn't work, right? So all the time. So now SAP has come up with backorder processing under AATP license with a bucket concept. So in this backorder processing, there are 5 buckets. But for backorder processing, you can use the same document for configuration. There is no change in backorder processing. It's everything same. You could use this document. So these are the 5 strategies we can say, or 5 buckets we can say, how actually system confirms the quantity. So win, gain, redistribute, fill, and lose. Win, confirm as requested. Okay. If it is a win strategy, confirm as requested. Shall be fully confirmed. So what comes under win strategy? Rush orders. That means the orders which you have to deliver today. If the order has to be delivered today, you don't have any time, right? So you have to deliver it today. So what comes under win? That is rush orders. Gain, improve if possible. So for win, to confirm this win strategy, you see, system can take stock from redistribute, it can take stock from fill, it can take stock from lose, but you cannot take stock from gain. It can take stock from all of this, but not from the gain. Why? Because gain is you may to deliver this tomorrow. You don't have much of time. Win is you have to deliver today. At any cost, you have to confirm the quantity. No, right? No chance. But you cannot snatch the quantity from gain strategy because it is to be delivered tomorrow. You don't have much of time. So you ignore this, redistribute maybe 1 week time. You deliver this quantity one week later. So you have time actually, right? So that's how system confirms using these strategies. So let us see what comes under each strategy. Win is rush orders. Let's say orders to be delivered today. Okay, orders to be delivered today is win. Gain, all orders for customer which are due today or tomorrow. So you cannot snatch the quantities from win, gain, because you don't have much of time, maybe today or tomorrow. Then redistribute is all orders to be delivered of this week. You have time, okay, you have time for a week. Fill is STO, stock transfer requisitions. That means you requested stock from another plant. Okay, so sometimes there is no material in the supplying plant, or sometimes it may take more time than usual to get the materials, right? So this all comes under the fill. And lose will always lose, never confirms. Lose shall lose everything. There is no confirm because lose is orders which comes under credit block. If order itself is blocked by credit, there is no purpose for confirmation, right? There's no purpose for confirmation. So all orders, it's always cancel, no confirmation for these orders, right? So this is how actually the backward processing now works in S4HANA. That is with a concept called a strategy. First, we create variants, then we assign the variants to strategy, telling system like which strategy you want to go, win or redistribute it. Even here also you can select the parameters, whether customer and material combination or material and distribution channel combination. Like this, you could write a strategy and you could tell how system to confirm this quantity. But you will be seeing whatever we discussed today, you will be seeing in the project only if you have license, AATP license. Without AATP license, you will not be able to see these concepts. Okay. So this is for today. So any questions, please go ahead. You have anyone, any question, please? Okay, hope so, no questions. So we'll call it a day today, catch up next weekend. And the next weekend, we'll discuss uh, output via BRF plus and the miscellaneous changes so that we could conclude this batch class session, session 9. So good day, everyone. Catch up next weekend. Bye-bye.